Were you involved in an accident and the person who hit you doesn't have enough insurance to cover your damages? It's a common occurrence. Check out this short video to understand why insurance policy limits matter in personal injury cases. Hey everybody, Barry here with the Lawful channel. As you know, on this channel you'll find short videos on the legal topics that affect our lives. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. If I can't help you, I'll find someone who can. So when someone gets in an accident and they call my office, I've got 3 questions waiting for them every single time. Who is at fault for the accident? Second, are there any injuries? And third, is there insurance? Okay, with regard to fault, why is that important? Because if you're at fault for the accident, you probably can't recover for your damages, although that might vary based on what state you're in and how much responsibility you have for the accident. Second, if there are no injuries, there's very little a personal injury attorney can do for you, and that's not just me, that's any personal injury attorney. Most of us don't just handle property damage cases. But those first 2 issues are totally moot if there's no insurance. If there's no insurance company to file a claim with, there's no deep pockets to go get money from. Now, a lot of people always ask, well, can't I file suit against the person who caused the accident? You can. I've talked about it on this channel many times. But chances are, if they didn't have insurance, they probably don't have any assets to go after. So let's say you do get involved in an accident and you get hurt. But there are insurance policy limits, meaning there's insurance that covers your damages. So first of all, what are the insurance policy limits? And second, how do they come into play? So what are insurance policy limits? Well, that's the amount of money the driver of the vehicle that caused the accident is insured for. Oftentimes you'll hear them stated in terms of $25.50 or $50.100. And what that means is the person has insurance for $25,000 for an individual that gets hurt and $50,000 for the entire accident. So here's where the insurance limits come into play. Let's say you got in an accident with somebody who has a $25,000 insurance policy. But let's just say hypothetically you have $100,000 in damages. Well, there's only $25,000 in insurance coverage, and the insurance company is only on the hook for the first $25,000, generally speaking. So what do? Well, you have a couple of options. One is if there's uninsured motorist, or in this case, underinsured motorist that you have on your own insurance policy, you can look for the balance at your policy. Now, let's say that you don't have UM or UIM coverage, or that there's not enough to compensate you. Well, theoretically, you would have to go after the defendant personally to recover the balance of what you're owed. Now let's take another scenario. Let's say that the guy who hit you has a $25.50 insurance policy. So there's $50,000 for the entire accident. Let's say you had a couple people in your car and each one of you suffered $100,000 in damages. What do? So this guy only has a $50,000 insurance policy. That has to be divided between the 3 victims. Well, same as before, those same victims can go after the driver's uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, or maybe even their own UM or UIM coverage. Or finally, if they have no other choice and there is no other insurance coverage, they'd have to go after the driver individually. Now, there is one general exception to this rule about insurance policy limits. So I was just involved in a case where this happened, and again, this is in my home state of Illinois, so check the law in your state to get more specific. But in this case that we had, the attorney demanded the insurance policy limits of the defendant, which in this case were very high. They were $500,000. And the insurance company denied that request or demand. Well, they went to trial, and the attorney recovered $830,000 verdict on behalf of the client. Well, that's $330,000 in excess of what they demanded. So what happens in that situation? Well, in this case, the insurance company knew they were on the hook because they denied the policy limits demand of the attorney. Now, that doesn't happen that often, but it is possible. In this case, the insurance company decided to pay the balance that was owed, but oftentimes you have to go after the insurance company to recover that amount. Okay, it's time for your take on the law. Were you involved in an auto accident and the insurance policy limits weren't enough to cover your damages? How'd it work out for you? Tell us about it in the comments section below. Hey, thanks for checking out this short video on the importance of insurance policy limits. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section below. If I can't help you, I'll find someone who can.